Woo.
Okay, so welcome everyone. This is the Thursday, May 17th, 2023 meeting of the Shutesbury Cemetery Commissioners at 6:12. Or 6:13 we're starting. Present is members of the committee, Dina Stander, Susan Millinger, myself, Walter Tibbetts, and we do have a guest, Leslie Bracebridge, who is representing the Friends of the Historical Commission tonight. What I'm going to do is we'll do the approve the minutes of the April 20th 2023 meeting, and then because Leslie has another meeting to go to, we're going to jump down to number 8 on the agenda, and then we'll go back up to the regular agenda. So starting with the minutes from the April 20th meeting that were emailed out, does anybody have any corrections, omissions, errors, or questions on that?
As I said, I haven't seen them.
Oh, okay. All right.
They're at the website.
And I didn't see them at the website. When I went to the website, I saw up to November, but not further.
The cemetery website or the email account, Susan?
Oh, the email account.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble accessing. Somebody's going to have to teach me how to do that again.
Okay, well, I can certainly send the minutes to you personally if you prefer
That'd
that.
be great. And then I can glance at them quick. Thank you so much.
You want to see them right now?
That would be good.
Okay, so I'm
I
going to be
can't imagine there's anything I don't,
issues again.
you know.
Let's see, mail.
Do you want me to send them to her, Susan? Would that be easier?
Oh, that's okay. I'm
Okay.
here now. I can manage it.
Okay.
Yay, us. Yay, us for managing.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I'll be
It's
right
okay.
with you.
When history looks back at the recordings of these meetings, they're going to say, those
God,
cemetery
thank you.
commissioners sure operate at their own pace.
Yeah, well, sometimes technology is very helpful. Sometimes it's very challenging.
Absolutely. Okay, Dina, it doesn't have a message. But
It doesn't have the message doesn't have a subject.
Exactly.
There, I see it. Great. I will skim quickly. Somebody remind me that I have a Locks Pond question later.
Okay.
All right. The only comment I have on these, and it was a question from you, Susan, when we're talking about new burials and lot sales.
Yeah.
Do we give the name of people purchasing lots in our minutes or not? I'm sure it falls under the fact that it is public information because it's the town selling it. So if somebody requests, we could do that. I'm not sure if we necessarily need to put the names in our minutes when somebody is purchasing or thinking about purchasing a lot. I'd leave that, kind of up to discussion here.
Wouldn't that be a privacy issue?
Yeah, I mean, once they haven't purchased it yet. So I think once they purchase it and then we've done the paperwork, then if somebody wants to request that, it is a public information, they can get it, but I don't think we necessarily need to include people's names in our minutes when they're looking at buying lots.
Yeah,
Okay, no problem. I was just not sure.
Right, yeah, and it's never really come up because we've never really discussed who's buying lots, usually lots of times in our minutes, so.
Well, you had a reference to an email, which I went to, and then I
Right.
saw Cliff and Arlene.
Right, yep. Okay,
So I didn't know why the reference to the minutes, to the email, so.
yeah, okay, I think it was just that we had an inquiry for somebody that wanted to purchase. We've had a couple of them, which we'll go over when we get to that part too, but that was the only thing I wanted to comment on the
Okay. Well,
on
thank
the
you.
minutes. Other than that, I think they're fine and very accurate. And
yeah, they look good to me.
all right, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as printed with that one correction of, leaving people's names out.
A minute, yeah, okay.
Motion seconded.
All right, any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Dina,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. Okay, so that takes care of agenda topic number 1. So let's jump down to number 8, because Leslie's got about 10 minutes before she has to leave, if even that. And that on the agenda, I just put down Friends of the Historical Commission. And if both Susan is now on that too, so if you two would just like to bring forward what your proposal is, if you'd like.
Well, I expect Leslie to do the main report. Right?
You got to unmute, Leslie. There we go.
I'll start and then Susan can finish. There's a number of people on the executive board of the Friends of the Historical Commission who are getting ready to retire from the board, not from the organization, just from the board. And we wanted to plan an orderly transition where things that had been of high value to us were seen to be funded going forward. And if you want to go over the budget, then before we started our budget, Susan was voted in as on the executive board. Nobody has resigned yet. We're waiting for all the banking and paperwork to be done before we move forward. But in the near future, Joan will be delivering checks to Shutesbury Town Hall to a number of municipal projects and committees, Cemetery Commission being one of them. And of that, there was $1,000 that had been previously allocated for the current Community Preservation Act stone repair project. When we divvied up the rest of the money, $3,000 was allocated as a gift for the Cemetery Commission to use for any municipal cemetery historical restoration project. It's not limited to West. And it would, my understanding, it would be that the commission would vote to use the funds the way they wanted. When I spoke with the town accountant about it, she said, please just have the Cemetery Commission vote to accept your gift. So that's all I have to say. Susan, maybe you would like to say something too?
No, I was just, since everybody on the board was planning to retire, they voted me in because I was willing to be a transitional person. And I may or may not stay on after the new board gets going.
Okay. Thanks for stepping into the void.
Yes, we were quite pleased. I'm not sure that it was all planned by Susan, or she kind of said, I guess I could. But it's really nice for us to have her on the Cemetery Commission and on the Friends, because we have donated so much to the commission, and I think she understands the needs of your board. So don't forget your vote. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, so I move that we vote to accept this gift from is it the Historical Commission?
Friends of,
Friends
Friends.
of the Historical Commission.
right. All right, and the total amount then was, is it 3,000?
4.
4?
No, no,
Oh,
because
no, it's 3 because the other 1,000 was
Right, previously,
allocated.
right.
committed. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I moved to that I move that we vote to accept this $3,000 gift from the Friends of the Historical Commission.
I will second that. Okay. Any other discussion or questions for them? All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Dina?
have a second?
Go ahead, Susan, what?
Did we have a second for Dina's
Yes,
motion?
I
Yeah,
did,
roll
I
call second.
seconded it.
All right,
All right.
I missed.
Now my only question is, Susan, do you need to recuse yourself from this vote, seeing you're on both boards or not?
I suppose so. I mean, I don't mind doing it.
I mean, I don't know, it doesn't really,
Quorum of the 3.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Either way, so I'll ask you your vote. How's that? You can make a decision.
I'll abstain.
Okay, and I will vote also, so that has 2/3 majority and the motion carries.
Excellent.
All right, thank you very much. We
Thanks, Leslie.
appreciate that, and that will go a long ways for doing the rest of our, matching for our rest of our stone project, if we use it for that. Thank you. And she's gone.
Yeah, but that's the biggest chunk of their money.
Yes, that's what I was told, that it was.
That's amazing.
We get the lion's share of
Yeah.
that after it was divvied up, so that's good. We really appreciate it, and we'll put it to good use.
I think
Oh.
they could was a significant project for the town.
Say that again, sorry.
They consider us a significant project for the town.
Yes, yeah,
I think historically we keep the juices flowing.
yeah. Yep. All right, we can jump back up to agenda item number 2, which is new burials and lot sales. That last, just going back to the minutes of the last meeting, that was just an inquiry. All right, yeah, okay, that's what you had. You said, do we give names of purchases or those buried in our minutes? Yeah. I was thinking that you thought that they had already purchased, but they just did inquire. So there have been 2 inquiries about lots in the last couple of weeks or so about at the Locks Pond Cemetery. And there was one for the green burials, which we approved. They were now going to just get back to us when they wanted to come up and look at and pick out a lot, because we talked about the process that we usually like to do, where it's better for them to come up and look at it. We'll look at the lots, the map, and show them just what's available, and then they can pick it, because everybody has their own reasons and all that for choosing a lot location. From I standing here, I can see my relatives over there, to there's plenty of sun here, to I just like this spot. So and they were really appreciative that we took it to that personal level of choosing a lot, so they were happy with that. And I think those are the only 3 inquiries that are open right at the moment that I have not fully followed through. I've been in touch with everyone, but we haven't gone and actually looked at the lots, because again, things have been a little crazy here. We do have one planned burial of some cremated remains, and that is going to be on July 22nd. It's a Saturday at 1:30. And that was a fairly recently purchased lot. I think it was last fall they purchased the lot, so that's going to happen in July.
Is this to the cemetery or the green one?
To the main part of the West Cemetery, not the green barrels. No.
Okay. So Walter, just to check, those two burials, or those two inquiries that you mentioned earlier, those were the ones that were in the April minutes, right?
One of them was, there's been one, I believe, after that. Or maybe it was, did I mention two in the Locks Pond?
Yep.
Two different people, two
Well,
different
no,
groups of
you only
people?
mentioned one in Lock Pond, sorry.
Okay, so there's been a second one at Locks Pond also.
Uh-huh.
And it seemed kind of funny, all of a sudden, everybody, two of the three inquiries were for the Locks Pond Cemetery. So,
Are these people who live down at the lake or?
one of them is, they're probably halfway between the center of town and the lake.
Yeah,
And then actually had somebody just in passing talking about it and asked if there was lots down there. So there might be a third,
Wow.
third person interested. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to, I've got to go away for 2 weeks, leaving first thing tomorrow morning. So when I get back, I'm going to try to contact these people and set up a schedule. And as soon as I know what it is, I can let you guys know in case somebody wants to, and either you want to come along and,
Yeah.
just go through the whole experience again of choosing lots and filling out the paperwork.
yeah.
So you're going to be gone from May 18th to June?
I'm coming back June 3rd, Saturday morning. Yeah. So it's a little over 2 weeks.
I hope it's a fun time.
Not really. It's kind of a work thing. I have to go back to Hawaii because they're doing some major renovations on the condo where they're going to be cutting like 8 holes in the walls from the floor to the ceiling and ripping out pipes and putting new stuff back in. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I got to move everything out of those rooms and put everything back in. And I'm probably, while I'm there, I'll repaint the rest of the other place. And it's not a coming at a good time for me. So, I hopefully will mix a little bit of fun in with it, but for the most part, it's all going to be work. So,
That's going to be work in Hawaii though, so that's special.
yeah, it's a long commute though,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
long, expensive commute that I didn't want to spend the money on, but
Yeah.
oh well. All right, let's get back to, official business here. So we looked at the new barrels and the lot sales. I threw in the website issues again just to see if anything's been done on that, or if you've been able to get a hold of
no, I was waiting for Susan to send me the
okay,
updated parts.
Okay.
that's right.
I'm sorry, I have had so many balls. I don't know if you folks know that I lost my 2 siblings within 6 weeks.
No.
No, I did not. Sorry to
Yeah.
hear that.
Hard.
Susan. That's that can
Terrible.
undo you.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I've been so busy with league business that I haven't had a chance to really think about it, which is both good and bad, but it's bad.
Right.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, sorry to hear that. So we'll just table that for now. That's something we can deal with later on. It's not a
Yeah,
big.
And I'm sorry, I've been sitting on this for months, if not.
it's okay. And so have I. It's not like I've been reminding you in the interim or terribly hot to trot about it. So,
All right. Well, we'll probably leave it off for the next one, and we'll revisit it later on. All right. So for the acquisition and the external hard drive, I was hoping to be able to say yes, I got it, but I have not had time to even go look at it. But we will. That's definitely something that's on my agenda to get taken care of before the end of the fiscal year, so we can put it on this budget.
Yeah.
So I will get that taken care of. We'll just have that we'll check in next month and make sure I did it. All right. I just put in the request for the stone in the natural burial area. That was Fairfields. I did get a hold of Sally. I talked with her. I went out there and marked everything out the night before they were coming to put the stone in. I met with both her and Notre Dame Monument Company. the next morning when they installed it, just to make sure that everything was good. And basically the stone was about a 1 foot by 2 foot stone that was maybe 4 or 5 inches high. So it's basically a flat stone that sits on the ground, very solid and all that, but only sticks up a little bit. So it's not like, it's not buried to the level of the ground like usually like the brass plaques from like the military and all that. It sets up off the ground a couple inches, but it was a nice flat stone. So there's not any worry about it, falling over or anything else.
Right.
If it's one of those, if it starts adjusting down or up, it's an easy one for even us to maintain and just level out and put a little dirt in there. So there was no problem with that. That worked out actually rather well. So
Good. Oh, I'm glad.
Not putting the blue stone underneath it?
no, there wasn't any need for it really. It was such the size of the stone and the height of it just sitting on, they leveled out the dirt and compacted it down, and that's probably going to be fine. So
Good.
Great.
We like simple.
yeah. And it does fit right with the motif of the natural burials, so it's
Right.
very unobtrusive and all that.
Good.
I guess that's all on that, unless anybody's got a question. No? I think that's something that we were talking about. Maybe we want to look into further again is, what are we going to have some kind of regulations on those stones? Do we limit them in size and height such that we don't have to worry about, having cement underneath it to stabilize it?
Well, I think is this a natural stone that she chose, or is this more of a carved stone?
It's more of a manufactured, polished, engraved stone. Yeah, but it's just flat. So actually it's not exactly flat. It's tipped just a little bit. So it's higher on one
In the
side
back,
than the other.
right? So yeah.
So it's slightly tipped. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the bigger question is going to be for people who want to use a boulder from the woods and a natural stone, which is not something we're going to be, unless it's
huge.
as long as it's, larger at the base than at the top, it's not going to topple.
Right.
That's I want to make sure people can do that.
There are a couple of those in the cemetery already in the regular burial section. So
yeah.
So yeah, as long as they're of reasonable size and all. And it's funny because that brings to mind, I did get a phone call of somebody that they had a stone that they wanted to install on their parents' grave, and wondered if they needed to contact us or have us do anything. I said, well, actually, yes, we do want people to let us know so we can go out and mark
where it should go,
where it's supposed to go. I told them this story of last year or so when somebody came in and had this big natural stone put on their lot that they had recently purchased. And I said, and they had Clarks come in and they, excavated just right and got the stone till it would sit just the way they want it. So it was nice and level and sturdy and all that. And then I came in, we were doing another burial, and I saw that stone was not even on the right lot. It was on somebody else's lot. We realized it because somebody else had purchased the lot.
Oh my
goodness. It was in the wrong lot. And I told Clarks that, so I didn't know that they had said it. He goes, oh my God, I spent so much time setting that thing. But the guy told me that's where it's supposed to go. So they went and they moved it to the other lot. And then I just got thinking about it. And I said and after I told the guy this story, I said, by the way, you didn't tell me your name. And he told me his name. I went, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I know where that is. And after I hung up with him, I said, yeah, I know where that is because you were the person that had the big stone put on the wrong lot. Because he got very quiet after I told him that story. So yes, we do need to, maybe that's something we need to put on our website in our information is, when it comes to putting, I think we have a section on memorial stones and all that. if not, you know, we should put something in there that people need to contact the cemetery commission before having a stone installed, so that we can mark it out the location and make sure it's in the
Right.
location. Yeah.
It's the
So,
little details that count.
yeah, little details. I mean, that's what happens when people take things upon their own and bypass the system. You know, that's what
Right,
happens.
we need a little collection of funny cemetery that.
Yeah, we should record these and, you know, write a book someday. I mean, one that needs to go in that book is the whole thing of when we were doing the stone repair and we got that headstone that was found in the house in, you know, out in Barnstable County,
Right.
the Cape, and then find out, you know, it belonged here. And when we dug it up to put the stone in, we found a big coal hog shell right where the headstone was. So, you know, somebody had obviously
Yeah.
done a swap somehow. So,
Yeah.
They left an offering.
yeah.
A fair exchange.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I don't know if the parents would think that that was a fair exchange, but they're all reunited now, so that's good.
Woof.
All right. Next thing I have on here is our new Zoom account, which we are using.
Ooh.
I was able to do that. I talked to Becky and told her what we wanted to do, and that, you know, we were going to take it out for entire year, pay it once, it's done.
Yay.
I did have some trouble setting it up because when you go to their website, talk about a website that's isn't very lacking in instruction. Let's put it that way. After fighting with it for several times over a couple days, I did call them and tried to get some information. I ended up, the person I got the information from was the billing department. They were the ones that provided me the best information. And I was telling them I was trying to set up the pro account and I was having extreme trouble with getting them, you know, I uploaded the tax exempt form and it would then just sit there and we're verifying, and 20-30 minutes go by and you can't do anything because it's verifying. If you go back, you lose and you got to start all over again. I started over, I don't know how many times. So I'm talking to the person who said, oh, yeah, well, what's your account number? I said, I don't have an account number. I'm trying to create one. She goes, oh, well, you got to create a free account first and then upgrade it. You can't just buy the pro account. So that's what I had to do. I had to go back and just open the free account in the cemetery commissioner's name and all that with all the information. And then as soon as I did that, then I could upgrade to the pro account.
Wow.
And everything worked. And it was smooth as
Wow.
pie, but nowhere does it say if you want any of these, like they have like 5 or 6 different upgrade options. You have to start by opening a free account first and then upgrade.
You know, it didn't used to be that way because when in the pandemic, I got myself a Zoom account.
Yeah.
I got it right away. I never had a free.
Yeah.
So making life more complicated now.
Yeah, and I did send the form. I got an email back saying, well, it's good, but something about, you know, it's the town account, and then as the agent to be able to use it as a cemetery commission, they said something about, well, the owner of the certificate can't put themselves as the agent. I was like, really? Okay, so they sent me something else. I got to look at it and fill something out and hopefully it'll be straightened out. But the unfortunate thing is you can only pay for it by PayPal or credit card or one other form. They won't bill us. So I ended up putting it on my credit card, and at least to get it going. The only problem is when it automatically renews to that same account. So that'll be fine as long as I'm on the commission, but you know, it's just a matter of getting reimbursed. But at some point, if I ever get off, we're gonna have to figure another way around it.
Yeah, you can change the account it's billed to.
Yeah, we
Once
just
it's
have to
set
do
up.
that. It'd be nice if we could do it to a town account or they could bill us, but at least for first setting it up, they didn't seem to want to do that. Which they used to bill. I know because the town used to get billed every month for all the accounts, so. But like I said, they keep changing things, so,
Companies grow and
Yep.
not happen.
yeah. All right, so we do have our own account. I will get
Well-
the information for you guys and send it to you. So you'll have the information to sign in,
Great.
and it still says my name, but it says Shutesbury Cemetery Commissioner. So, that way you guys could sign in. I'll give you the password and all that. And I made it easy. I made it the same password as our email account.
Okay.
So you only have to remember one. Yeah, so it should be pretty easy to get in and then do things with it, so. All right, so that actually happened and is working. Let's see. All right, I think that's all I had that I was supposed to have done too. Any other unfinished business that anybody has? Okay, and we already dealt with number 8, Friends of the Historical Commission. Dina, you did have some questions you wanted
I
about.
had a question about Lots Pond because somebody asked me if if they could have a green burial down there.
Okay, the only thing is, everything we went through with the Board of Health and all that for the West Cemetery. I think if we wanted to do green burials there, we'd probably have to go through that same thing to satisfy the Board of Health.
And they are, as far as I know, still working on new regulations.
Right.
Have we heard from them?
We have not heard from them, no.
So, they're working on new regulations, which I assume are going to apply to any burial ground in town. So
Right.
maybe when we see those regulations, we can revisit this question about
Sure.
the Lots Pond and Pratt Corner
Yeah,
Cemetery.
because I know people have inquired if we could do green burials at any of the other cemeteries.
Yeah.
I told them at this point, no.
Okay. I mean, that's what I said at this point, no, but
Yeah.
it's certainly something.
Yeah,
that's-
you can just say, the town is working on, and the Board of Health and all that is working on new regulations for green burials. I mean, when we did it the first time, it was new to everyone, kind of.
Yeah, we're updating.
Right, so we'll play it by ear, and once they come up with stuff, then we can look at it and see if it's feasible for us to do, and if it's so and we want to do it, then we can pick out a spot up there to be able to do it.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
That was really my question about that. I don't have
Okay.
anything else particularly.
The only thing I do want to bring up, just because, just a couple things for you guys. I did get down to the West Cemetery and do some maintenance on the equipment. So I did the full oil and filter change, cleaned, lubed, air filter, pumped up the tires, new blades and all that on the small mower. I got most of that done on the larger mower. I had to purchase more oil because I didn't have enough to do the oil change. I thought we had more there, but I guess not. So that has been mostly gone through. Last Saturday I did the oil change on that and the filter and some new blades and did some lubing, but I didn't have time to go through and do a full cleaning on it. Today I stopped by with getting some gas and stuff for them, but they had already gotten the gas, so I did pump up the tires on that, so they're all at the set right pressures. And we borrowed some. The groundskeepers had a request to get some orange cones, because when they're working next to the road in front of the stone wall, the cars going by there so fast that they're fearing for their lives a little bit. So
Yeah, it's not a precedent we want to set.
no, so I went up to the highway this afternoon also and borrowed 5 orange cones from them. And I think we can, I think we got enough left in our account this year that maybe we can purchase some orange cones too, to have there for, even if we're doing anything else and want to do parking, or set them up to keep people from driving over the grass in the early spring when
Right.
they sometimes do and dig big ruts and all that. So it'd be nice to have a few of them there just for whatever purpose. I did, while I was doing all that service, not only did I pick up oil, on that website, I was able to find parts before I went and got oil filters, at least for the small mower. I couldn't find the right ones for the larger mower. It's a different motor, different size. But I got blades for all of them and some other parts. So I think it's working out better in the long run than Devon Lane, unfortunately, because they've been very difficult to deal with over the last couple of years. So this is online. Sit down. You can sit down at 12 o'clock at night, go online, order the stuff. In a couple of days,
It's
it shows
the
up.
Rock Auto of mower parts or something.
Yeah. It's partstree.com, I think is
Oh, there you go.
yeah. So yeah, that's worked out pretty good. So I purchased all that stuff. So we do have I think I can figure out, I should know where we are with the monies once I put all that stuff through. But I'm gonna see if I can get a newer expense report from the
excuse
town
me.
administrator. The last one we got was in December, so the end of December. So we haven't received an expense report since then, just to double check and make sure all our numbers match. But we'll do that. Anything else you guys can think of that we may need in clerical or anything like that Susan, that you think?
Well, this isn't exactly something we need, but Walter, you want to get paid for the work you're doing.
I
This
don't
should be
I don't
public
even want to
and
I don't
most-
even want to go there right now, to tell you the truth. We can talk about that later on, because I think that's going to actually, for me to work there and be paid when I'm on the commission, has to be a meeting at a vote at a town meeting.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's usually a formality, but that's the way it is. Like Catherine Hilton, because she's on the Board of Health and she's being paid as the clerk, they have to vote that. When Gary Dillman was on the Cemetery Commission, also did the mowing, they had to have a special vote for him to get paid for
Okay.
doing that work. So it's something we can look at. It's a little
Yeah,
late for this
next
year's
year.
town meeting, but maybe next year.
Yeah, next year.
But I just find it's so far it's been easier and more user-friendly and timely to just do it ourselves than to send it away. I mean, last year we went back and forth with them for almost 3 or 4 months and still ended up not having them do it because they kept dropping the ball and stuff.
Right.
So, and I ended up just doing it last year myself. So towards the end of the season. So this year was pretty, it was pretty good. Not too hard to do. And I'd replaced a lot of the belts and all that last year. So this went on pretty good.
Well, thank you very much, Walter, for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's kind of part of it, I guess. A little
It-
above and beyond, but
Well, it's part of it because you have the skill set, not because it's
yeah. All right. So anything else unanticipated 40 hours prior to the meeting or for the good and welfare of the organization?
Well, I just have a quick question. Dina, what do you know about aquamation?
So aquamation is alkaline hydrolysis. And what it is, it's sometimes called water cremation.
Yeah.
And what it is a big tank and a lot of liquid and at high pressure, I think. And it breaks down the body. There's still bones and stuff left over that in the same way that you get with cremated remains, crushed bones. So there's still some of that. It's touted as being greener than regular fire cremation. It's not, it's also not really a new technology. It's just coming more into practice. And I think we'll see it more and more. I have huge questions about what happens with all this liquid. There's this effluent.
Yeah, where does it go? Is it filtered out? What do they do?
The municipalities don't want it going into their sewer systems necessarily. And although in some cases that's what happens, in other cases, the effluent is collected and transported somewhere else and basically dumped. And we followed where some of this was going. And we know of at least one company in Colorado that basically purchased an acre of land where they go and they truck their effluent to and dump it on their own acre of land. But so I don't, I know it's, people think of it as greener, but it's another one of these situations where I'm like, yeah, but where does all this stuff go? And what's happening with it? And so, I have mixed feelings about it. I think it'll get legalized here in Massachusetts. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I just want people to find and follow best practices, right?
Now with that, I can see where the flush all breaks down with the bones there. Does the family get the bones back, or do they crush them?
Crushed up. They
crush them up,
they do
okay.
with cremation. So
Yeah.
it's still, the remains still go through a crusher and the family gets a product back.
Okay.
So,
Happened-
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Happened to my brother, and I had not heard of it before.
Oh, okay. I had never heard of it before either.
So is the effluent polluting? Is it a pollutant?
That's probably a question that needs to be answered.
This isn't something I'd completely, somebody's going to probably come back and tell you it's nutrient rich. I think it depends on what's in there, what they use in the solution. I think it's probably nutrient rich and has a pH. I'm not sure where its pH is. So how if it goes into a municipal wastewater system, it's going to get mixed with everything else and filtered and stuff will happen to it. I don't know what happens. I have so many questions that people don't really like to answer here. And I got in trouble recently for this. Somebody was really excited about human composting, which I think is pretty exciting, except that it's not a new practice. It's what we've been doing with farm animals forever. So it's not some new thing, but it is as it's practiced right now in Washington state anyway, creates a lot of compost. So a single human body creates over a cubic yard of compost, which is the body material from the body and alfalfa and straw mostly, and some wood chips, all mixed together. But that's a pickup truck load of material.
Wow.
From a single person that then has to be transported somewhere else, and they're using it in Washington for the compost for forest reclamation projects where there have been fires. So they're finding ways to spread this material, but it has to be transported there, and that's then part of the carbon footprint of the body disposition. And I just I just think that the simplest thing is to take a body and stick it in the ground and let it be there. It's less transportation, less stuff.
Yeah.
You're not growing alfalfa to put in the bin.
That's true. And all the fuel that's involved in planting and harvesting and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's lots of ways to look at what the carbon footprint of a thing is. And there's going to be these new technologies. Desmond Tutu used alkaline hydrolysis.
For himself, or other people? For himself?
For himself.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's coming sort of more into use, I think, and it's not a bad thing. But it was new for you. Was that okay? Did it feel weird?
Well, it felt a little weird, but I was glad that it wasn't as dangerous, as what didn't have the kind of effects that cremation does.
right? But just different effects. Right now, by my estimate, from everything I'm reading, cremation, in a modern cremation with, assuming the facility has modern smokestack scrubbers, so they're filtering more stuff out of the air from the emissions. The energy use is about equivalent, I think, to driving 1,500 miles when
Wow.
all is said and done. So, a long vacation. In the general scheme of things, it really depends on where you are and what you're thinking. I don't know. What a strange thing it is to be an earthling in these times. That's my my assessment this week.
All right, so anything else?
Expert with all information for us.
I'm happy to have it collecting in my little brain. Okay.
Anything else that we want to discuss before?
No, thank you.
Good.
All right, so look at setting the date for the next meeting. Are we still looking at the
June.
third Wednesday? Yeah, it'd be June.
Yep.
The 14th, I'm gonna be in Long Island. I have to take my mother to Long Island. The 21st?
The 21st is okay with me.
It's the solstice.
Yeah,
Oh.
I guess so.
It's
I- It's ways ahead for me, but I'll say yes.
You'll be back from Hawaii, I assume, by
Oh, yes, I'll yes, definitely be back.
You're gonna miss town meeting though, if you're coming back on the 3rd.
Yes, I will, won't I? Yep, I guess I will. I did do registered for mail-in voting, so not because of that, but well, maybe because of that, because I knew I was going to be gone. Yeah. Oh well.
Town meeting is on a full moon. I don't know if that's good or bad.
So June 1st, Wednesday,
Oh,
6 p.m. All right.
So with our new Zoom, can you set up the meeting now if you wanted to?
I could, yeah, I can set up the meeting now. I don't know if there's anything special anybody wants to put on for agenda items, but I can put the basic agenda and we can always
you can
modify
amend it. Yeah,
48 hours. That way it's on, it's posted. We don't have to worry about it.
That sounds
good.
Yeah, this is so much easier because I don't get kicked off. I don't have to go searching, calling somebody out to get the things, and we're not
link.
limited to the length of the meeting either. Basically, the account that we were using did not get upgraded. It basically went back to the free account, giving us only 40 minutes. So,
Right.
and then I was told we could use the account that everybody else was using. I said, but the only problem was you can't use it when everybody else is using it. It's like, well, we have enough trouble now getting meetings scheduled. And to say we can't schedule a meeting when other people are scheduling a meeting, which often happens, I said, no, we can't do that. I said, we're just going to get our own account.
This
and
makes sense to me. Thanks so much, Walter.
Oh, you're welcome.
definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys.
All right. Have
Dinner time at my house.
a good weekend and next couple of weeks. And
Yeah, safe travels, Walter. There and back.
thank
again.
you.
I
I
hope it goes
I
well.
hope so.
And you really get some downtime.
Yeah.
Some downtime will come sometime. I don't know when, but we'll get there. All right. I'm going to stop the recording now anyways. I should have probably done that before.